new Zoom panel that appeared.
Oh,
I got it in here. I
Yeah.
just did
All
it.
right. Okay. Cool.
It's
Thank
okay.
you.
We're
Thank you
good.
so much. Yeah.
don't worry, Carly and I've got you. It's fine.
Yeah. You've got support.
Carly, did you recently update your Zoom? Do you have an icon at the top that actually kind of shows you a transcription or something like that?
No,
Wow.
I
So
don't
I've
think
got this,
so.
like it's the first time I'm observing something different in Zoom now. So, but yeah, looks it's cool. Anyway, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing well. All right. So, guys, before we get started, any questions so far from our previous conversations or anything that you may have tried and tested on Velocity and probably want to share your feedback, or if you have any questions that you can recall? Any comments?
Wow, none? None at all?
I can
No
ask a few
comments?
questions, but not
Oh,
related to the last meeting. It's
okay.
just, we have a discovery, right, to see the rates and everything.
Yes.
Can I connect that live to my web page so my client, if like prospective client, come to my web page and they can see that? So I tried it, and as soon as click, it's like client, the system asking for login information, right? So I think that's not public. That's not possible.
It's not.
So
Yeah, it
it's
is for
not.
your, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Mia.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say it's like, of course, first of all, yes, it is not possible to connect. And secondly, even if it was, are you sure you want the clients to see that?
Like the live rate updates, everybody is excited about to see the updates, right? So I
You
just
mean to say,
trying to
you mean
see
to say the
whether I can.
rates? You want the
Yeah, the
clients to
rate,
see the rates
exactly.
of each product.
Yeah, the only the rates. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think the reason, I mean, like you're welcome, of course, to post whatever you want on your website, right? If you want to just like manually copy it over. I think
Yeah,
the
yeah,
reason we
yeah.
don't allow for that is that those rates are, I mean, you're the one who can kind of look at those and determine who's going to actually qualify for that. So rather
Oh,
than just putting it out there to everyone for a product that realistically not everyone is going to qualify for, I think that's why we haven't necessarily made it available externally. So yeah, I mean, you again, you're welcome to copy from there if you want clients to see, the rates that you have access to, but it's not something that's
yeah,
connected
no problem.
necessarily.
I thought I would ask,
Yep, that's
Yeah,
a
no,
fair
that's
question.
that's fine. Yeah. All right. Any other comments, guys? No comments. I'm scared. Yeah. That's exactly when my problem starts, when there are absolutely no comments.
We have a whole new topic though, so it's going to be good. I'm
All
sure
right.
things will come up.
And maybe just to touch here on the point of, I know that there will be some agents from last week that will feel very frustrated with Velocity because it was down a bunch, but maybe this is a really good platform because a lot of people are on here to explain why that was, because obviously that wasn't a touch point to everybody. Because I mean, I've used Velocity for 4 years and I've never experienced anything like it, and there's a very good reason for it, which I will let you explain, or Carly, or whoever.
All right. So we are doing a few infrastructure changes internally that gives you more speed in terms of using Velocity for the future. And that's the reason we experienced a few issues. But if you compare that with the speed at which Velocity 3 operates right now, it's far, far better. I don't know if anyone had that experience. I personally have that experience. Velocity
I do.
3 as compared to what it was probably say 5 or 10 days ago versus what the speed at which everything loads, it's much faster right now. Right.
Yeah.
So it's that. I don't know if Carly wants to add anything to that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to both Mihir and Nicole's point, this isn't the norm, and
No.
this is we recognize really, really bad timing for your team, especially because you're just getting used to it. And this is kind of your first impressions. So really, my apologies, and from our team, like this is not our normal operating procedures. So Yeah, I mean, it's being worked on. There are a lot of updates going through right now. The V3 version is still fairly new, so as we're kind of working on this version, yeah, I mean, it can cause issues. And last week was a really, really horrible week, and that will not continue moving forward. So thank you for sticking it out and thank you for understanding. But it's not going to be like this all the time. So
And Matt just said, just because I know other people have questions, but just because it's on this topic, Matt said, is there a way to suggest doing updates and fixes during off-peak work hours, which normally you do on the weekends? And that
we
was the happen.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And again, it's not necessarily that those just happened that were causing those outages. It's just kind of like the downstream effects of them. So it's not like those were actually happening like during working hours during the week, because of course we don't do that. But I mean, like again, I'm not in charge of the technology side of things, but it's the downstream. So
And I was explained too that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were explained it last week, the guys and I, that when you do something and you're speeding up the system and you're putting those updates in place, it like kind of pops up any problems you have. And those were what you were seeing that was causing that to happen. So as they were putting in the updates, you get like a couple things that go wrong that come out in the system. I'm not techie. And that was what was actually causing the issue, not the updates they were doing specifically.
yeah, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
again,
So,
when you change one thing, it's
yeah.
things can happen. So last week they did, unfortunately. But again, this isn't how we want to move forward. It's not fun for anyone. It's not fun for our team. It's not fun for our clients. So yeah, sorry is what I can say.
I just thought it was important just to touch on, right? Just
I think
to,
that, yeah, I'm
yeah.
glad we did. And thank you, Nicole.
Okay. And I know Alan has a question. I think somebody else did too, but I can only
Yes,
see
Alan.
Yeah, my understanding is there's going to be a point where we're going to migrate like all of our existing data over to Velocity. Like, what's the plan for that, timeline wise, and like how do we go about doing that?
So, Alan, Carly and I are already doing that, and we are almost completed with majority of the data that was given to us. But we'll let you know once the entire process is complete, and then whatever data you had from your previous mortgage origination systems will be available for you to view in Velocity reports.
Okay, so we're just kind of waiting on that. Like we're like I haven't seen anything about that. I just don't know when or how that's happening.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
just to kind of give an overview of that, Mihir and I received mass data from your team, from Dave, for basically everyone on the team from Finmo, Scarlett, and Expert. And we're just going through that and making sure that we're putting it into the right accounts and making sure that everything goes smoothly with that. So once that's done, we're hoping to have it done by your transition day, which is May. Um, so once that's done, everything will just be in your account, and then you can fully start taking advantage of Gold Rush and the managed campaigns and everything like that.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so stay tuned for more info on that. But yes, there is work being done, and you don't have to do anything on that for now.
Yeah.
Good question, though.
Awesome.
I'm also glad we covered that. So thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes. All right. So let us get started with our topic of the day, which is going to be client experience. So guys, very simply put, client experience is how you can intake applications from your clients online. So instead of you having to start a manual application, you're actually sending out a link to the client, or you're sending out a client experience template right from Velocity. And as long as your email address is connected to the platform, those templates will be sent from your email address. And a copy of that email will also be visible to you in your sent items, right? So let me start sharing my screen, and please give me a thumbs up if everyone is able to see my screen.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. Perfect. So in order to send out a client experience template, and this is something you guys can test first before you actually implement this with a client. Once you're on the home page of the platform, click the add button and then click on client experience. Now type in your first name, your last name, and your email address. Or, of course, your client's contact information. Once you've typed the information, click this green button, Add Borrower, and you will notice that an applicant has been added. Then click this blue button over here, Next. And you will see this particular pop-up. When you click on this drop-down, you should see these shared templates, purchasing a new property, refinance, or a renewal. And when you select any of these templates, it will have a picture, it will have a content, and you are most welcome to modify these. So these are some default templates which are set up by us, accessible to anyone. And what I have also done is I've created my own template, which is called my custom email. So let me just show you what that is. A picture which I created on Canva, a little image over here. If your signature is already set up on your settings page, it will pre-populate. And then along with this email, when I was creating the template, what I also did is I attached a closing cost PDF and a homeowner's guide. So if you set that up as a template every single time you try using it, these PDFs will always load up with it. You always have an option to remove anything that you want that probably you don't want to send out to a client because maybe you've already shared it with them during a conversation earlier. Or you can use any of the shared templates too. Here's the subject line of the email, and you can always go ahead and modify it. Now, once you're through with the template, hit this blue button over here, Next. And this is where you get to choose if you want Velocity to support you with document collection. There's a tool integrated into client experience. We call it Smart Rules. And how it works is depending on the answers a client provides during an online application, Velocity can automatically populate a list of conditions. So that's called Smart Rules. And you will always have a Smart Rules button over here at the top. If you toggle it on, the Smart Rules will work. If you toggle it off, you will only receive the online application, not the conditions. So that's one way of collecting documents with client experience. Another way is condition groups. That's something we will talk about a little later. But if I click on this drop down here, you'll be able to see a list of groups that I have created. And when I select any of the groups, it's going to add a set of documents. Again, this is something we do on the profile page, but I just want to show you what it basically looks like. So as a sample, as an example, I'm just going to leave this particular group as it is. And then I'm going to hit the send button. So when you hit the send button, just wait for a few seconds and you will see that your email has been sent. You will see a success message over here at the top right. Now I'm just going to open my Outlook and just give me a moment. I'm going to show you what that email looks like when a client receives it from you. So I'm just waiting for that email. Perfect. I received it. Give me one quick second before we go to questions. And this is what the email looks like. Yes, Matt, you have a question, I believe.
Yeah, so that's the email. And so it looks like it comes from Newton, not from you, correct?
Yes. So if on your settings page, like in my case, my email address is not connected to Velocity. That's why it comes from Newton. If your email was connected, it comes from that email address and you see a copy in your sent items.
Okay.
Okay.
So you just have to
Alright.
connect your email, Matt,
Yeah.
in Velocity, and then it will come from you.
So Nicole, referral mortgages email addresses are on Google Business, right?
Sorry?
Uh,
Our referral emails are what?
so they run on the Google Business infrastructure. Is that correct?
I think
Or is
so.
it MS365?
No,
No,
we're on
it's-
Google. We're on Gmail. Yeah.
Gmail.
Yeah, we are
Right.
on
No, we're asking. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. So in that case, guys, let me actually show you how you can connect your Google email addresses to Velocity. So let's say we'll go to that email a little later. So let's say you're on the home page. Click on your initials at the top right. Then go to settings. Once you're on the settings page, look for the first header on that page. It's called Connect Your Apps. Right under that, you can see Connect Your Email to Velocity. Then when you actually click on this particular drop down, you will see it says Gmail. So click on Gmail and it should then say sign in with Google. When you click on sign in with Google, you will be presented with the following question. Sign into your email provider. To sign in with this email provider, please switch to legacy. Click on switch to legacy. So that's going to refresh the page and it's going to move you back to the legacy version of Velocity. But that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. Now, once again, when you are on the settings page, click on choose a mail service and select Gmail once again. So far, so good? Yeah? All right. Now, after selecting Gmail, click on sign in with Google. And it should take you to accounts.google.com. And it should display a list of your Gmail accounts. So let's say, for example, if I select the first one that I have over here, when you just click on it, you should see the following page. Sign into Newton Velocity. Google will allow Newton Velocity to access this info about you. You need to click on continue. Now, when you click on continue, you will see the following. It says, select what Newton Velocity can access, send email on your behalf. This checkbox, you need to check it off. Once you've done that, you would click on continue again. And that's about it. Let's just give it a few seconds and it'll say that your Gmail is connected to Velocity. Now, to go back to the Velocity 3 version, click on the Me button at the top right. And then the second option from the bottom, it's called Velocity 3 Beta. When you click on that, you will be taken back to Velocity 3. Right. So it's that easy to connect your email address. Now, let me show you what if I resend the client experience template to myself, what that looks like. So I'm going to do this a little quickly. So that's my first name, last name, and email address, add borrower, next, selecting the template, next, and send.
Mihir, there's also been a question about what those documents that you're including are, the home buyer's guide. Are those just sample documents or do those actually contain?
No, those are samples. Those
Those
are
are
just sample documents, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying that. There's a question from Matt as well. Matt, do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yeah. So just while you're doing that, I did a little test email. My signature doesn't come through. Is that pre-populated by you guys? Do I have to implement that? How does that work?
Yeah, we'll come to that, Matt. Just give me one quick second. So, guys, if you actually look at this, let me actually show you the difference. So this is the email I sent myself right now. It's my email address connected. And the previous email, that is this one. It's from noreply@newton.ca. So this is the difference. So in any scenario, your client will get your email, but if your email address is not connected to Velocity, it'll go from noreply@newton. If it is connected, it'll go from the email address which is connected to Velocity. So that's one thing. Now your email signature. So again, go back to the same settings page on which you connected your email address. And on the settings page, scroll down, and look for email options. And this is where you are setting up your email signature. Once it is set up, whether it's a client experience email or if you manually request for documents and velocity as discussed in one of the sessions, or whether it'll be a workflow email, something that we will be discussing in the future, all those emails will carry the same email signature. Yeah, so it's set up over here. So Matt, does that answer your question?
It answers where to input it. It doesn't answer how to input it because I'm unable to do that. I don't see
I just
the
copied and
ability.
pasted mine. I just did it right now. I don't
Does
know
it
if that
copy your picture and link and everything like that?
it just copied everything like right from my signature. I just went into my settings in Gmail and
Yep.
copied it right from there, and I just stuck it in. So I don't know, maybe here I'm not right, but I just did that and it's in there.
Yeah. Copy
Let me
paste.
see if
That's
that
all.
works as well.
And I don't have to save it, right? It just is in there.
Just saves, yeah.
It just says automatically. Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other question in the meeting chat related to this?
I don't think so.
Yes, I
Oh,
have
hold on.
one. Sorry.
Yes, Michaela.
We kind of discussed this last week, and so I don't know if there's an update on it, but when we were sending out a client experience email, when we received the email in our inbox, it had like anywhere from like 8 to 12 random photo attachments, but there was like nothing in them. They consisted of nothing. I think a few people had that issue too. I mean, I don't know what more to say. I don't know if you've heard of this issue.
That
or
was Carly, right? That we were discussing that with Carly last
Mhm.
week in our meeting. So I don't know if
Yes.
Carly has an update on that.
Yeah,
So
so
that's
I-
the thing. Yes, Carl. Go on, please.
I was going to say, I've taken that away. I'm still working with the team on that, on getting kind of an update on what we can do about it. Yeah, it does happen. I still don't have an update on it though right now. I don't know if Mihir has another super smart answer to provide.
Yes. No, so just one thing from my experience, guys, especially when you send it to any Gmail account, you will see an attachment. That's just how Google does it. But if you send the same email to an Outlook or an MS365 email address, doesn't happen. Yeah, because let's say let's just talk about the same email address that I have. The Newton email works on MS365, and you will only see this attachment over here. My signature is as it is. So yeah, not sure if the team can actually do anything about it, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure they can see if something can be changed. Right. All right. So let's go back to those emails. So guys, this is the second one which I sent myself. It has no documents, and that is what the email looks like. And the first one that I sent, which is this one. In this first email, I had included a condition group. Having said that, this email looks different. Based on what we already know, we will be asking you for the following documents. So each document, and then the notes. If you remember, in one of the sessions, we spoke about adding these notes to the profile page. And once those notes are added, when you use them with condition groups, they will always be included in the email. Yes, Abdur and then Matt.
I think Matt raised his hand before. Matt, you have.
I think he forgot to put it down last time from his last
Yeah,
question.
I just didn't put it down, but the formatting comes through not clean.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the question I was coming, Matt. So I just copy pasted my Gmail signature and I tested to myself. The information is coming through okay, but the images that we use, for example, my picture and the apply now kind of images embedded apply now link, that's all like it's not showing up. So definitely I'm doing something wrong.
No, so here's what you can do is create a table open a Word document and create a table and just put your information in that table and then just copy paste that table into Velocity and it should work. So try it out. If it still doesn't work, just send me an email and I'll look into it.
Perfect. So is the image format matters like JPG? I think I saw something where it has to be some kind of format, JPG format or something.
Not
Maybe that
necessarily.
okay.
What I did is a shortcut. What I did is I took a screenshot of my email signature and I just dragged and dropped it from the desktop. So if that works for you, you could do that too. But if you want like a clean formatted signature, you might have to play around with these tools over here. Try it out. If it doesn't work, just let me know and I'll do it for you. No problem.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you, Mihir.
Same thing for you as well, Matt. Just let me know if you're not able to, because I know it can take a bit. So that's fine. This is good. I like this. A lot of questions are coming in. Great. I'm happy. All right. So let's go back to the email. And you would see that when we were sending out the email to the client, the Get Started button was not visible to you, the broker. But when the client gets an email from you, this button is visible. Now they will click on this button and they will be taken to your online application link. And to begin an application, they have to check off this box. I confirm I've read the rules. And then they can either begin by creating an account or they can continue as a guest. These days, everyone maintains a lot of different types of online accounts. So it's absolutely fine if a client is not interested in creating an account and simply submitting the application to you. That's totally cool, totally doable. However, these are some of the benefits which they get if they choose to create an account. Number one is they can save an incomplete application, come back to it, and once they have completed it, they can submit it to you. As a broker, you have a dashboard on your Velocity account. Similar to that, a client also has a dashboard. So when you submit the deal to the lender, it's visible to them that the deal was submitted. If the lender approves, it'll be visible to them that it's approved. But if the lender declines the application, that decline is not visible to them. Right? And in one of the sessions, we spoke about how you can request for documents from clients. For you, that goes away because they will be able to see a button to just click that connects to the client portal and they can just start uploading all the documents. Right? Now, if they continue as a guest, they will be taken to the questions of the online application. Questions are very straightforward English, no mortgage terminology used, so I'm quite sure that they won't have any issues in filling it out. Wherever you see this particular asterisk, that's a mandatory question they cannot skip. So let's say if I choose purchase, that's the next question. Have you already found a property? If I say no, I'm still looking for one, these are the set of questions you will see. And if I choose yes, the line of question is going to change. Same logic applies to refinance. If I say refi, you will see different questions. And if I say renew, again, the questions will change. So the next question that comes up always depends on the answer to the previous question. And there's no way you can create a custom list of questions. The client experience is very standard. All right. Now, it's divided into a total of 6 sections. So guys, if you could please look at one of the recordings that we have uploaded on the playlist. I've already went through an entire application, so that's a bit I'm going to skip for now. So the entire application is divided into the following sections: getting started, borrowers, income, banking, assets, properties. Then they will see a review page. On that review page, it's the client's last opportunity to edit any answer before the application is submitted to you. Once it is submitted to you, a client has No access to edit any of the answers, only you can edit everything in your Velocity account, right? Now, after the review page, on the final submission page, there will be a set of consents they will be requested for. One of the consent is CASL. CASL stands for Canadian Anti-Spam Legislation, and that's tied to your Velocity CRM. Unless and until a client is not CASL opted in, they do not receive any communication whatsoever through your Velocity CRM. But that's not mandatory. After CASL, the next consent in line will be credit consent, and now that is mandatory. After credit consent, the next one will be a PEP declaration for each applicant that was added by the person who's filling out the online app. All right, so both credit consent and PEP are mandatory. Now, an application can take two directions. If the client already knows you really well and you've already spoken to them about these consents, it's very likely they're going to give you the consent. So when they give the consent, here's what happens. First of all, you will receive a notification email from Velocity that you have an online application waiting for your review. That email will come to you immediately after a client hits that submit application button. And there have been countless examples that I have come across where brokers have received applications middle of the night, especially the ones who are actively marketing and promoting their online application links. So that's definitely something you might want to consider. So that's number one. Number two, on your Velocity top bar, you have a ribbon over here. So that's the third symbol from the left. There's a ribbon here. And when you click on this ribbon, it will actually show you the online applications. And let me explain these three words to you: started, received, and abandoned. If someone goes to your link and begins an application, it'll say started, and you will see your starting time. You will see the last active date and timestamp too. If someone has submitted an application to you with credit consent and PEP, it'll say received. And if someone started an application, did not complete it, probably they just closed the window midway, maybe just filled out a couple of sections, not everything, it'll say abandoned. But even if it is an abandoned application without consent, when you click on the file number over here, it takes you to that file and you will see all the information which is already filled out by them. The key difference here is when a consent is provided, you receive a notification email. When a consent is not provided, you do not get a notification email. So it's highly recommended to periodically click on this ribbon and just find out which applications were started, received, or abandoned, right? Yes, it is.
Can clients come back to their abandoned applications? I had two applications go through that they couldn't get back to.
Yeah, so if they revisit, they can if an account was created,
Okay.
right?
Only if the account was created, not as
Yeah.
against. Okay.
Now, if the account was not created and they go back and click on that Get Started button, you will receive a second application for the same.
Yeah, I noticed that. Okay.
Yeah, so in that scenario, what you would do is you would go to the incomplete one and park it, and then work
Okay.
on the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
The other thing that might be a good idea, guys, is when you're sending out the link or the client experience and you have your discovery call or your email, whatever you send out to them before, is let them know that if they should create the account rather than just going through as a guest, because then they'll be able to go back and access that if for some reason they abandon it.
I was thinking that too, because my client had to get documents and then couldn't go back
Yeah.
in. So they had to redo a whole application again.
Yeah, so I think because
Okay.
sometimes when you just don't want, you're like, ugh, I don't want to deal with it
Yeah.
stuff. But if they realize what having actually creating an account does for them with it, because they'll be able to see what docs they've sent and all that as well, then having that account is something that they probably want to do for this situation.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
And sorry, Mahir, two things in the chat. One is from Henry. It says, I'm going through the client experience and I'm noticing that some questions are being asked more than once. Is there a reason that might happen?
Can you give me an example of questions being asked more than once?
Yeah, Henry, feel free to come off mute and give some examples if you're.
Is
One
it-
typed in, when does your mortgage renew is one of them. That's the only one that's come up.
Okay. Mm, let me just note it down.
So we do ask that question depending, like if you have multiple properties that you're working with,
Hmm.
then that
Yes.
question would come up multiple times. But it shouldn't, if you're dealing with a refinance, for example, there shouldn't necessarily be two of that question for the one property you're working with.
So I think it might spill into the next question too. Oftentimes when clients, this comes from Jerry, and when they fill in the application, sometimes people fill in a property owned for each applicant, even if it's the same property. So is it possible that it's picking up on two, like the same property twice, depending on how it's filled in?
Yes, yes. That is
Is there a
that is
way to
correct, yeah.
prevent that, to stop that, they're asking?
Yeah, so there's no way to prevent that because what Velocity does is it creates a client profile for every person that's a part of an application. So that property in the backend is also connected to that particular client profile. So that's why it's how it is designed.
So you just have to go in and delete it out. And the good thing about it though is sometimes some clients don't fill in all the information on it, but the other one does. So you can look and see which one has more filled out on it and
Yeah.
delete the one that doesn't. So that does happen where some don't put any information in and the other one is very thorough. So
Yeah. So it definitely helps doing one thing really well. Instead of getting on a call or a meeting with a client to fill out an application, you're getting into the meeting after receiving an online application. So it kind of helps you save a lot of time in that sense. Yeah.
and the other really nice thing with the new beta 3 is that because all of the properties are toggled at the top, before there was classic or modern. I never used modern. I didn't like it. I'll just say that. I loved classic, but you had to scroll through. So if they had multiple properties, it would get sort of confusing, like where you are on it, because you're just scrolling, where this one's all toggled. So as soon as you look at the top and you see two identical properties, you know
Yeah.
you've got to delete one of them, right? So it's not like they're scrolling through, oh my God, is that one again I've seen, or is it not? Like, does it? So it's very easy on beta 3 to be able to toggle between them. See, so there, so you can see, and you can just go back and forth between them. So super easy because the delete button's right there on the side. So you know you want to delete that property. Like there's no like, oh, did I delete the wrong one? You know, so it is actually really great in beta 3 to be able to just get rid of that super quick.
All right. So the status of this application is a lead, so it's not going to have, let's look at one of the applications that is received. All right. So guys, in this online application, there were 4 applicants that were added, and that's the reason there are 4 conditions created that are known as consent confirmation. This is basically the credit consent. All right. And then when you actually view this particular document, and if you go to the final page, you will see the name of the person who gave the consent, the digital ID, the IP address from where the application was filled in, along with a consent date and timestamp. Right, so you will see that. Besides that, what will also happen is there will be 4 PEP declaration conditions too, each assigned to the applicant. The remainder of the 2 AML conditions, that is risk assessment and sanction screening, they will be added automatically. If it's an abandoned application, this will not happen. AML conditions will not be added automatically. And just to again refresh that, how AML conditions work is, if it's a deal that you've manually started, the moment you pull credit, the 3 AML conditions will be added automatically. If it's an online application where credit consent was provided and the PEP was provided, again, in that scenario, all the 3 AML conditions will be added automatically. All right. And in this online application that we are reviewing right now, smart rules were on, and that's why a set of conditions were automatically added depending on the answers the client provided. Now, let's go to the profile page. So when you click on your initials at the top right and then go to profile, there are 3 tabs that are tied to client experience. So first one is client experience settings. Second one is client experience templates, and then conditions and documents. So let's talk about each one of them. So when you go to the settings, the first option you will see here is for you to be able to select a theme. Unfortunately, there is no way you can upload a custom theme, so you'll have to select the one that is available to you under themes. Next to theme, you have an option to upload your logo. So one thing you could do is next to the referral brand logo, you can always put in your picture, create an image on Canva, and then you can just upload that image over here, or simply upload the referral brand logo, anything that works for you. The recommended dimensions are 265 by 70 pixels. And one thing that I know about Canva is whether you're on the free plan or the paid plan, doesn't really matter. It allows you to create pictures of custom dimensions. So it's just a simple drag and drop, and then you're just downloading that image on Canva as a JPEG or a PNG, and you're simply uploading that over here, right? So that's that. Next to logo, what you see is client portal. This message is visible to the clients on the client portal where they are uploading documents. Now, my message that you see over here, this is a custom message. What you would see is a default message. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this message and put it in the meeting chat. Just for your information, so you can create your own, anything that works according to your own client journey, right? So that's that. Now, let's talk about these customizations. But before we get there, is everyone following? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to address one thing that came up in the
Yeah.
chat for everyone. So there was a question of, is there justification for capturing, storing the IP address, collection of data, etc. So even if you don't use the signing through Velocity, DocuSign, Adobe, OneSpan, whatever e-signing you're using, they all have a consent page that talks about the collection of client data, why it's important. If it ever came down to it and the client says, I never accepted that, the consent page talks about why it collects the IP address and everything, because we do have to match up that it wasn't you signing off on it or that the client's IP address shows up. So yes, if your client doesn't just blow through the consent form, it will talk about all of that. And again, that's for using signing through the system or outside of the system.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali. All right, guys, let's go to customizations. So you should see 4 toggles over here under customizations. I want to start with the last one, life insurance. So if this toggle is left on as it is, there will be one question that will appear in your online application, and that question will be, do you have life insurance? And your client has to simply pick a yes or a no as an answer. If you think the question doesn't work according to your client journey, and if you want to remove it, simply toggle this button off and it'll be removed. Next is referrals. So in one of the sessions, we spoke about referrals. Every Velocity deal, doesn't matter whether you log into a deal on the classic, the modern, or VL3, Velocity 3, you will see a referral section. If a client in an online application fills out the referral section, this will also get filled out. And there are 2 advantages of doing that. Number one, you can run CRM campaigns where referrals can be sent out, automated emails or messages, text messages. Second, through the reports tab in the sidebar, you can build reports based on how many applications came to you from a specific referral source. But again, if that is something that doesn't work according to your client journey, what you can do is to remove that referral question. You can simply toggle this button off and the referral question will not be asked. If you leave it as it is on, the question will be, they will be asked to input the referral info, like the first name, last name, email address, name of the company they represent, etc. Right, so that's that. Now let's talk about easy account access. So besides what Velocity offers you for free, which is client experience and workflows and a CRM tool and so many other things, there are also a few paid add-ons. One of the add-ons is called Easy Account Access. And this add-on allows your clients to submit bank statements to you as one single PDF file right within the deal. But if you do not plan on using this paid add-on, please toggle it off. So at least that question is removed from your online application. All right. And then Smart Rules, as we already spoke about.
Sorry, Mahir, can you explain how that works a little bit? So if it's connected to the client bank account, what do they have to do? Do they just enter the login for their bank account and then the bank statements are like AI finds those statements and provides them, or how does that work?
Yes. So how it works is, so Easy Account, Alan, works in two different ways. Number one is it is integrated into client experience. And number two is you can send out a link manually whenever you're ready to collect a statement. Now, when the client clicks on that link, what they will actually see is a list of all the financial institutions in Canada. That, of course, includes all the major banks, but besides that, other institutions too. Let's say, for example, a client has a CIBC bank account and wants to submit the statements to you. So they click on CIBC. The moment they click on CIBC, the system integrates into CIBC's internet banking services. The client then has to enter their internet banking username and password. Once they sign in, they will see all the services they have with their bank. It could be a credit card, it could be a savings account, a checking account, investments, etc., with whatever is the current available balance for each of their services. Now, let's assume they want to submit a checking account statement to you, so they have to click on checking, and they are usually presented with three options: 3 months, 6 months, 9 and 12. So it's either 3, 6, 9, and 12. So let's say if they click on 12, what the system then does is it starts creating one single PDF file of the entire 12 months of bank statement. And then it attaches that to the online application, or it sends it to your Velocity account, and it's available to you under conditions and documents. Now, there are two important things for this tool to work with any of the clients. Number one, they should be signed up for internet banking, and they should have an internet banking username and password. Number two, with the bank, they should also be signed up for email statements. So as long as they meet these two things, you can use this tool and directly get bank statements. Yeah.
So if they have to get email statements in order for that to work. Because
Yes.
I know for some bank accounts, they just store it on their online account and they don't necessarily get the emails.
Yes, yes. They have to be signed up for email statements too.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So Smart Rules. So this particular toggle over here, guys, of Smart Rules, it's tied to this particular link. And as we spoke about, this is your dedicated Velocity link, online application link, which is tied only to your account. So any of your clients can go to this link, and the application will only go to you, not to anyone else in your team or in your brokerage. It comes to you and you only. So that's your link. And this Smart Rules button over here is tied to this particular link. So if you toggle it off, now if anyone goes directly to the link, Smart Rules will not work. If you leave it on, it will work. So that's one thing. Now, when you create a client experience template, and even if you simply go to add a template and choose one of the default templates, every template on the right side has its own Smart Rules toggle. So that's again something you can choose at the time of sending out an email, or it can simply be templated. If you toggle it off and try using the same template, when you go to add in client experience, Smart Rules will always be off, right? So you have kind of a lot of customization in terms of smart rules, and you can always pick and choose for which client you want and you do not want to use it. Right? So that is that. Now, when I was sending an email to myself, I added condition groups. And those condition groups are created under conditions and documents, condition groups. So when you go to condition groups for the very first time, you would see purchase documents, rental docs, and existing property group. These three are just sample groups that we've created. You can either use them or you can ignore them. To create your own group, simply click on the Add Condition Group blue button over here, and then name your group. Once you've named it, click here to add conditions, and then simply start selecting all the conditions that you want it to be, that you want should be a part of this particular group. It could be as many as you like. And if you plan on using the group immediately with one of your templates, please refresh your page. And then over here, under the Smart Rules button in templates, when you click here to add your group, you should be able to see the name in there. Just select it and it gets added. So now if you try using this particular template, this group will always show up on the final conditions page, right? So very simple and straightforward. And I have actually created a few sample groups over here. So the first one is documents for self-employed. And these are the basic documents which I've added. Now, business bank statements is not a default condition in Velocity. So what I did is I went to custom conditions and I created a condition of my own called business bank statements. And I've just added that as a part of this particular group. Then for documents for salaried, again, I've included the most common ones: pay stub, employment letter, NOA, T4s, personal bank statements, and ID. Then here's a group for refinance. I believe this is something you mostly would need for almost every refinance. And then I've added another simple group for purchase. So these are, of course, just examples. You can create groups according to your own client journey.
And where do you add in, sorry, Mahir, where do you add in like the actual wording under those I forget where it was, or if you've said it already.
Yeah, so that was over here. You would go to customized.
Yeah.
Generic.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then each of the section headings. So for default conditions that are set up by us in Velocity, you're going to generic and you're adding those notes. If it's a custom condition, then next to the custom condition itself, you will see the blue icon over here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So that concludes our conversation on client experience, guys. Any questions? I still have a few minutes. But by the way, guys, Ali doesn't have much time today. So if you have any questions for her, you might want to ask her right away. She needs to run to another call. I know that.
That's okay. I will say one thing, because I get asked this a lot when I do like one-on-one sessions. The only time I don't use Smart Rules is for reverse mortgages. Because sometimes people ask, like, when do you not use it? I find for reverse mortgages, because let's be honest, no system is really properly equipped for reverse mortgages. So that's the only time I really turn it off. Because I find that it's going to ask for a lot more. If any of you have worked on reverse mortgages, the system's going to ask for so much more than you're actually going to need. So I do those conditions manually when I send it out.
So Mahir, is there ability to customize the naming of those documents? Like I noticed, like just one, like the tenancy agreement. I don't like. I think a more common term might be lease or something else.
Yes.
Like, can we change all that?
So you would go to customized conditions, go to custom conditions, and just create your own custom label. That is what you would use.
So it would just be custom. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be custom. So but there's no way for you to change what is created by us because that's like a default name.
Got it.
Yeah, same thing as with for property taxes. It comes up a property assessment, and I know clients are like, "Do I need an appraisal? Like, I don't have an appraisal." I'm like, "No, it's your property tax bill." So I think they're just some of the wording is a little bit off from what we normally use.
Yes, yes.
And that's the beauty of those little speech boxes, as you saw with the conditions. I have ones that I've got generic wording where I'll change it throughout the year. So right now it's asking for interim taxes, whereas in June I'll go in and change it to ask for the final property taxes. Just so that when it does get sent out to clients, you've got what you're actually looking for and there's a lot less confusion. And one thing did come up in the chat. Nick is saying, looking forward to setting up the CRM from Zoho. Oh, sorry.
I just answered him.
There
I
you
just
go.
said that.
Okay.
Never mind,
Here we go.
sorry.
Nicole's on it. She's got it. She's got it.
Told you I had your back.
I
Yeah.
like Zoho 1. I have used it. I've used it before. Zoho 1 is good. But just the Zoho CRM, okay. Like their entire package, which includes like so many, like 50 to 60 different tools, that integration is good. They're doing pretty well with that.
And Mahir also said, because we went over client experience again today, he's going to drop a recording of workflows into
The playlist, yeah.
playlist. So you guys will have that. So if you want to know more about workflows, go in and watch that once he's dropped it in there. And then we're having a Q&A next week, and you guys can ask all the questions about workflow and that in there. So that's homework for all you guys.
Yes. Yes, guys. Any other questions?
Doesn't seem like. Looks like you're good.
All right.
Actually, I have one. The client experience, the logo, that has to be the RMI logo. I guess it's for Nicole.
No, no, he
It can
said
be
that you can
anywhere.
add it, you can attach it and do like in Canva and put your picture beside it. It can be your picture, it can be a logo
Okay.
if
Okay.
you want.
Sorry, I didn't know. Okay. Thank you.
That's
But
fine.
I think it should be your referral logo. Maybe you can say powered by RMA, but I think it should be the referral logo because that's where your license is tied to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think maybe she was just asking if it could just be her picture alone.
Oh, it could be for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as long as Nicole doesn't have a problem, it could be.
No, your face is beautiful. You can have it just like as you wish. Yeah, no, it's fine. You can have just your picture, but he is saying in Canva, which I'm going to do right now. I just have the logo, but I'm going to merge them together so it comes up with a referral logo and my picture at the same time. But I think because clients, if they see your face, they're more like, okay, this is from you, rather than it being blank
Yeah.
or
But you
just
wouldn't have your like personal business logo. Like,
right. No,
Yeah.
not your personal business logo.
Yeah.
No, it has to be referral logo or your picture or both.
Thank you.
Yeah. Personal, I don't think Fizra allows, do they? I don't think so.
What? Sorry,
Fizra doesn't allow for personal logos, do they?
personal logos?
Yeah.
Oh, like a team logo? You mean? No.
Yeah. No, I don't think they allow. Yeah, yeah.
I think you're good.
All right.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you so
guys
much,
so much
everyone.
again. So appreciated.
Thank
Even
you.
I'm learning stuff and adding stuff into it. So
Awesome.
great.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye
Thank you.
now.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.